Hello and welcome to our team presentation on the Regional Teaching University case study. During this presentation, Rasha, MJ, Tomi, and I will step into the shoes of the administrator in charge of the International Education Department team in order to address the following issues. Recently, the International Education Department has noticed an alarming trend where the net number of international students has decreased due to zero growth in recruitment and increased attrition. Meanwhile, other institutions are recruiting international students at a substantial rate. Thus, there appears to be several problems affecting recruitment and retention. It's imperative to conduct a review of international education at RTU to analyze the problems and create a strategic plan for enrollment and retention of international students. We will start with the English proficiency assessments. Regional Teaching University only considers scores from the International English Language Testing System, IELTS for short, to assess the English language skills of international students. By using IELTS scores only, RTU is disadvantaged, as it limits the number of applicants to those that have taken the aforementioned test, greatly reducing the pool of applicants. In order to be more competitive against other Canadian higher education institutions, RTU should pilot the use of the test of English as a foreign language as an assessment tool, alongside IELTS. TOEFL is a very popular assessment tool recognized by more than 9,000 colleges, universities, and agencies in more than 130 countries. The admission scores should be comparative to other institutions and be high enough to ensure persistence and success for incoming international students. The Centre for Canadian Language Benchmarks has identified success as earning a C+ grade in the first year of university, which is considered to show solid proficiency in sufficient language and academic competencies. Currently, RTU requires an IELTS score of 6.5, which is equivalent to the CLB benchmark, for success in the first year of college or university. A comparable TOEFL academic score would be between 79 and 93 points. Therefore, the score of 79 should be used. In addition to TOEFL, RTU should accept the following scores from well-known English language tests: 180 points or higher on the Cambridge English Language Assessment Test, 60 points or higher on the Canadian Academic English Language Assessment, 80 points or higher on the Michigan English Language Assessment Battery, and 58 points or higher on the Pearson Test of English Academic. Furthermore, RTU should consider international student applicants who have completed their studies at international baccalaureate accredited institutions. It would be required to have fully completed their IB courses, including 3 standard level and 3 higher level courses, and obtaining a score of 28 points or more. Additionally, IB students may be awarded advanced standing credits for higher level subjects with a grade of 5 or better, subject to the discretion of the appropriate faculty, to a maximum of 3 credits. Next, Rasha will discuss concurrent registration.
Thank you, Carolyn. Currently, students at RTU who achieve higher level grades in the upper ESL levels are unable to enroll into academic credit courses concurrently alongside their ESL courses, resulting in a revenue gap for the university and a missed opportunity for ESL students who wish to transition faster into academic courses. Moreover, RTU needs to pay closer attention to ESL retention rates if they do not provide opportunities for students to take on credit courses during their ESL program. Students will eventually withdraw or select an institution where they have greater options to complete their studies in a shorter period of time. Regional Teaching University will need to review concurrent enrollment opportunities for higher level ESL students who achieve a minimum B+, such as registering for credit courses. There are many benefits to concurrent enrollment to ESL students, such as a smoother integration into Canadian higher education, reaching academic goals sooner by earning credits towards their degrees, improving their language abilities, and exposure to credit courses. In addition, benefits to RTU will be revenue-driven by allowing students to register in full-time studies and will increase student recruitment and marketing opportunities. Through its intensive ESL program, RTU has the ability to assist students through their academic courses by offering support through their writing centers to assist students with comprehension of information and application of written assignments. Students will be able to use this option as a stepping stone upon completion of their final ESL semester to be prepared academically to take on full-time post-secondary course studies. Students will be more successful and will have a greater chance at persistence to completion of their academic programs. In order to ensure faculty and departmental buy-in, RTU's International Department must create a plan that would involve possible faculties in the university. This will allow opportunities for input and collaboration between departments and would foster stronger engagement for student success. Implementation of such an initiative will require RTU to follow a process that once the program for ESL plus credit course concurrent enrollment is completed to be approved by the Senate and would already have agreements from participating departments. The following section will tackle the subject of external transferability led by Tomi.
Thanks, Rasha. ESL students from various nations are entering Western post-secondary institutions in increasing numbers nowadays. Anxious RTU educators are worried about the international students' readiness in the English language. The fact is that various ESL students are entering Canadian universities with below average or equivalent ESL readiness. The BC Council on Admissions and Transfer stated that entry pathways and lack of uniformity in entry level in academic skills among the ESL population in college and university programs are a problematic issue. Also, the educational system finds it difficult to track and identify some students' pathways in order to address their linguistic and academic needs. This is quite challenging due to the lack of uniformity and detectable evidence of ESL students between institutions across Canada. Regional teaching universities should concentrate on articulation agreements, which are pathway documents. It centers on international students' direct transfer from English language schools to the institution. RTU should be prepared to provide a 2+2 option, which means international students can apply and transfer into their desired program after completing 2 years of college diploma or 2 years of a 4-year university degree. The ESL Articulation Committee created a standardized entry-level language requirement for ESL students who show advanced English language skills. Also, the Canadian language benchmarks articulate the levels of second language proficiency by facilitating the transferring of ESL students between ESL program and first-year English. This will allow RTU and other private institutions such as ILAC, ICL, OHC English, English Encounters Inc., and Access International English Language Center to prepare ESL students for their academic courses by enabling course instructors to provide effective support to their ESL students. Furthermore, students can transition from private language institutions to post-secondary institutions all across Canada. In addition, Furtado and Gurr stated that articulation agreements exist only between language schools, college, and universities. Under dual admission agreements, students can apply for admissions to RTU before or during their first 2 years of studying at a language institution and transition after completing their credits. This will build on an existing transferable framework in Canada by providing international students in RTU a pathway which will lead to a university degree. We will now move on to a pricing with MJ. Thank you.
Thanks, Tommy. And now I'm going to discuss the pricing strategy. It's important to identify the main stakeholders when setting prices for any business operations. We have identified the main stakeholders related to this masses are competitors, financial, marketing, and international education department, dean, president, VPs, students, trustees, and government. So, pricing plays a crucial role in appealing to students in the enrollment decision making, and we all know that. Recent global economic uncertainties have caused significant change in student attitudes towards cost in higher education. Therefore, institutions today are using pricing as a marketing tool to recruit international students. However, in order to succeed in the global education market, particularly in the long run, it's important to understand that universities must sell value, not price. RTU has been perceiving its low enrollment issue is being due to the competitive prices that's been offered by private language schools. However, we need to understand that language schools differ from RTU in their program offering. Most ESL students' end goal is to enroll in post-secondary education institutions after they're completing their language program. And these institutions are the ones RTU competes with in the marketplace. Therefore, RTU's underlying issue for low enrollment is its inability to create and deliver value for students. So how can we set effective pricing for RTU? First of all, it's important to note that for RTU is a public university, government funding policy sets a baseline for pricing. Additionally, any pricing should be aligned with what the global international education market is charging. Also, RTU's focus should be on creating added value for students instead of reducing our price to compete with private language schools, especially since an unnecessary price reduction could lead to lost revenue and possibly damage the university's brand image. So, in order to create student value-based pricing strategy, RTU must consider the market demand and create programs and services to meet this demand. According to ISEF, the main factors that international students value are institutions' overall social and academic support and availability of internship and co-op programs opportunities. To meet this demand and offer quality program, RTU should focus on providing students with smaller class size, with more class hours, and improved student services, especially the university's library and the academic writing center, as well as enhanced career and social counseling services. RTU's ESL program offers direct entry to its academic program, but students need to see the value of that. If students can see the value, then they will be willing to pay more for quality. Thank you. So next I will discuss the issue of international student integration. And the main stakeholders that will be involved in this strategy are students, faculty, campus managers, student services, international education department, VPs, and student social. So social integration is one predictor of a successful learning experience for international students. Therefore, institutions should invest in social integration to support the well-being, academic progress, and customer satisfaction of international students. Why? because understanding and catering to student needs bring competitive advantage that can result in positive financial and social impact on institutions. Most importantly, student who is satisfied with their learning experience is more likely to recommend their institution to potential students. And word of mouth recommendation is one of the most powerful marketing tools for recruitment. However, creating an environment that encourages integration and positive learning experience requires campus-wide support. At RTU, it's evident that some departments don't see or understand the overall importance and benefits of internalization in their roles as educators and service providers. Without the help of every employee to improve integration, any effort or strategies from the International Education Department will not be effective. So, in order to increase international student integration, RTU must first reinforce the importance of internalization through common goal. RTU must also actively promote and measure the social integration achieved in and out of classroom for the learners and the teachers. Most importantly, RTU's leadership initiatives and activities should support that emphasis. Based on this, RTU needs professors and other departments to be supported in improving services and providing an environment that encourages integration. Therefore, incentives must support this and resources must be spent. As Shine explained in his book, the system and structures should be consistent with the change the administrators identified is required. Additionally, RTU needs to understand that just bringing people together in the same room doesn't automatically result in meaningful integration occurring. Both domestic and international students at RTU must see value in mixing together, and RTU should provide the following initiatives to encourage this. Firstly, provide them with opportunity to share a common goal. For example, creating a sports team or pairing them with the internship partners. Secondly, ensure international students understand the commitment for integration by being honest and upfront about the relationship building from a Canadian perspective. Thank you so much. The following section will explore the relationship between international and academic departments, and it will be led by Rasha.
Thank you, MJ, for that information. As foreshadowed in other sections, there is a perceived deficiency with respect to integration and collaboration of international education and academic units. Furthermore, there seems to be a lack of clear guidelines for processes and jurisdictions regarding the following: the status of international students vis-a-vis the rest of the student body, potential disciplinary actions, and career advising. An important understanding of the functions of the International Department by academic faculties at Regional Teaching University is essential to the continued and progressive growth of the institution. With the anticipated increase in international student enrollment due to the implementation of some of the solutions mentioned during this action plan, departments and faculties must be aligned well with one another to understand the roles and responsibilities each plays in ensuring student success and continued growth at RTU. One of the most important departments that must be mutually aligned with international education would be domestic and international admission requirements. The associate registrars of each department must have continuous collaboration to ensure that minimum requirements are satisfied for acceptance into the institution. Quarterly meetings between domestic and international admissions is recommended as an effective solution for clearing guidelines for processes and jurisdictions. This also allows for transparency in admissions process for language as well as academic requirements for minimum entry. Domestic and international academic advisors should also meet quarterly to better understand the difficulties that students encounter on both sides and can share best practices and solutions for student success and retention. Opportunities for collaboration between the international department and different faculties could include international experiences such as exchange programs, development opportunities for students and faculty, intercultural workshops, participation in orientation for both domestic and international students, cultural exchange opportunities such as International Week, and visiting professors from international partner institutions. We will now move on to the summary with Tomi.
Thanks, Rasha. To conclude, the administrator of the International Education Department should enact the following recommendations. Use several English language assessment tools. Collaborate with language schools to facilitate entry to RTU. Development of articulation agreements with other institutions. Increase the quality of instruction and services to international students. Communicate the importance and implement intentional student-centered planning of integration and engagement initiatives. Design of an effective pricing strategy that is a balance between being student-centered and competitive, yet also taking into consideration all the stakeholders who impact the price and being careful not to devalue the brand. Develop concurrent enrollment for ESL and degree-related courses. Finally, collaborate regularly with other units to ensure student success and continued growth at RTU. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed our presentation. Have a great day. Goodbye.